everybody, and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft. And it's been some time, hasn't it? It's been a week or two since I last did a video here. Just things have been really crazy for me lately, even more so than usual. Some in real life stuff has happened and videos kind of fell by the wayside. So I apologize for that, but some things you've just got to get done, and some things you have to deal with. But I have been working a little bit here today in my LP world, and what I have kind of started to do is gather up supplies to finish off the farm. So as you can see through here, we have what we did in the previous episode, and then I've carved out a new area here where we are going to put melons, pumpkins, cactus, and netherwort. We're also going to need a place for mushrooms at some point. I haven't really picked out a location for those just yet, as they're not as important. But I think that's everything I want to put in the farm room. Trees will go somewhere else eventually. If I really need wood desperately. Generally I've been using a lot of oak wood, and I do have a tree farm on the surface. But if I needed like some utility wood, I'd just grow some mega tiger trees and cut those down. So it's not exactly a problem at the moment. That said, I would like to eventually build a tree farm. I'm going to get my next load of cobblestone cooking here, and then what we can do is actually start work on putting together the farm. I also dug into the anvils a little bit more, and I kind of understand a few more things with it now. Basically it was as I expected. The repairs are exponential. There's a formula to it which I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like it doubles and it adds 1 every time until it gets too expensive. There is a way to indefinitely repair tools, but it requires way more work than it would be to enchant another diamond pick. You have to like rename it, and then I think that you have to rename it again, and you have to rename repair materials, and it's just too much to it for me. I don't think that it's really worth it. It's kind of designed to be that you have to replace tools after a while. As I say, there is ways around it, but it's very tedious and very time consuming and not something I would want to do. So we're not going to be doing that. That's just handy for repairing tools around 5 or 6 times, and then it's kind of done. So yeah, interesting anyway. Renaming only costs a level, as we learned, and it doesn't really do a whole lot really. So that's that, I guess. So on to the farm then. And I'm actually going to need some stone bricks. Oh, let me put that back. There we go. Didn't see that. And what I'm going to do is probably put together for some of this stuff some kind of semi-automatic stuff. Not really fully automatic or anything, but for stuff like melons and pumpkins, just a simple button push harvest, because breaking them down over and over again gets a bit annoying, particularly when there's so many of them. So I'm going to start by putting this in like so, and we have this here, and I kind of want my netherwort to be at that end of the room, because that's where the brewery bit is going to be, the brewing room. So it would make sense to put melons and pumpkins up here, and the way I want to do that is by doing this. So we're going to have the seed in that block. It will fall onto that block because it's dirt and there's no other dirt around it. Then we would want water here. Actually, no, we want a piston there, which I have supplies for. And then you would want water here, so I'm actually going to put cobble. That would be where the water would go. Another cobble, and then 2 dirt. And then this would be the path around the outside. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to do this all the way up until this cross section here. We're going to continue the cross section, and I'm just kind of marking this off as we go. I don't have a huge use for melons or pumpkins really, so I don't need a super huge solution to it. I mean, for pumpkins, I know you can make pumpkin pie, but it's not a great food source, and the only other thing I would really want it for is kind of decorative stuff like lights in the village and so on. but I'm not going to be using a whole ton of pumpkins. And melons, you get tons of melons from very few melon plants. And the only thing I think I'm going to be really needing melons for is probably brewing. Because I do want to switch to a better food source than just melons all the time. So I'm going to get some oak made here. And bring this across. And I'll get the redstone hooked up soon. And then we have this space left over. And what this space is going to be for is definitely going to be doing cactus. So if we wanted to do cactus, I'm probably going to do this lengthways. And we'll do something a bit like this for cactus. Going to have another button push harvest thing again. What we'll do is we will raise, I want to save that. We'll raise 3 pistons in the middle. Again, very simple. And then all the cactus that are around it, so all of these would pop off. We just can't put them on these blocks. So that's cactus kind of sorted out. So the only other thing we would want to do for this then, I think, would be nether wart. Oh, you know what? I've just thought, cocoa beans. I don't have any though, and I don't know where I would get any. So I'm not going to worry about cocoa beans right now, because I don't have a jungle nearby. I probably won't be getting them for a while. And even if I did get them, I would probably want to integrate something into the wall, a type of thing where you push a button and it raises them up and then pushes them back down again, type of thing. I think that would probably be best for dealing with cocoa beans. Oddly, this seems like a big space to do nether wart. So I'm not totally sure about this, because this is a big nether wart patch and I'm not going to be using that much. One possible option will be to extend this, but how many plants is this? 3, 6, 7, 8? There's 8 plants here. Am I missing something in terms of farm-related items that I've just completely missed? Because I'm positive that, you know, I don't need that much room for nether wart. Obviously, mushrooms are going to be handled separately. We have sugarcane. Anything in here? Not really. I guess so then. I could either make a bigger melon and pumpkin field, which would be an option, or I just leave it as is and just have a big nether wart patch, because I really don't need that much cactus, because it's kind of a decorative thing only. I'm not sure, but I kind of think I want to do the longer melon and pumpkins, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this, because as I say, I don't need that much nether wart. It doesn't make sense to have a huge field of the stuff, because once you have a stack of nether wart, you're pretty much set for weeks, because you only use 1 per 3 potions, and I don't make a whole lot of potions anyway. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. So yeah, if I made the cactus thing, maybe if I bring this beam back to here, and then I had a gap of 3, then brought another beam across like this, just move this, we would have room for our cactus. Yeah, and that's kind of a big enough nether wart area, I think. A lot better. So I'm gonna get this out here, and I'm not worried about an automatic harvest solution for this particular one, because it's a lot like carrots, wheat and potato. I can't speak today. Carrots, wheat, and potatoes. I'm tired, that's my excuse. So I'm gonna get to work, I think, now on setting this up, and maybe we'll do a bit together so that you guys know how to replicate it if you want to build it in your world. So I'm gonna fill the rest of this in. Get rid of these torches here, just like so. So how many crops do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are going to need 22 pistons for this. And I don't have enough melons and pumpkin seeds right now. I could probably make enough. So we need 22 pistons. And I'm going to need some wood for that. That gives me 21 and then 22. And I've got that wrong. I knew it the moment I saw it. Oh, I don't quite have enough cobble. Dang it. I'm going to need some more. Another stack should do fine. Redstone and wood. 22. And I'm also going to want to get some more water so that I can make an infinite spring. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that from just around here. We will make a proper brewing room eventually, it's just not high on my priority list. Figuring out the farm is probably more important. So I'm just going to bring the water all the way across here. Whoops, I didn't realise that that was like that. I don't want any water flow noise, which is why I have done that. I'm going to fill it up. Now I'm going to put my cobble over top. Just like so. I'm going to break that. Now I'm going to want my pistons. I'm going to put them across on both sides. There we go. And I'm going to want some redstone. Whoops. Over top. Just like so. And I think I have some buttons. I don't want to make more. I'd rather use what I have. Let me see what we've got inside the redstone goodie box. I have a button. Okay. That's kind of unfortunate, but I kind of wanted two, and I was hoping that I wouldn't be left with an odd amount of wood left. But that's basically the functionality. I did knock the torches out in the process, but that's not such a big deal. Because I'm going to be putting my lights in above the system here. Obviously I'll need to make some stairs as well, but that's kind of the basic premise to this here. So if I was going to do some lights, I would want to do something a bit like that. And I'm going to need some blocks. Don't need my axe right now, so put some light up above the melons here and the pumpkins. Is that, yeah, that's in line with the rest of this, so I can put this down. There we go. And is that halfway? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite. I would need to put one here, and then there'd be a gap of 3. Right, we need to move this across one. And then we will be set. Here we go. And in slightly different news, I did finally upgrade to 1.8.3. I know there's been a bunch of bug fixes and other changes involved. So hopefully the game should be a little bit more stable now. I know some people have reported that it is better for them, so hopefully it's the same for us. It's kind of low, but it's not terrible. I like that. Simple and effective. And then what I can do is hoe the soil here, either side, like that, and then I'll get my melons and pumpkins in. I'm not sure it's light enough for the pumpkins at the moment, but we'll see. So that's those guys taken care of. Obviously we sorted out nether wart, so all we need to do now is get the cactus in place. And for that I'm going to want to make 3 pistons, and I'm also going to get some gravel. So where's my gravel? There it is. I need another iron ingot. So 3 pistons. Don't have enough cobble again. I already know it. I only have enough for 1. And just like so, we'll whip 3 more up. And my wood. And again, we just need these to be regular pistons. I kind of have to design things to include regular pistons because I don't have a supply of slime balls for sticky ones. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place these guys down. This is where they're going to sit. And then on these I'm going to put gravel. I'm going to lay my sand down. Put some light around this. Just like that. And obviously when these 3 pop up, it's not going to do anything for these. So I'm going to fill it in with gravel so that we know not to put cactus there. And then I would plant the cactus in here. But before we do that, what we really need to do is I'm actually going to have to tear this up because I want to do some wiring. So the pistons are here. And this is very, very simple wiring too. This is not complex at all. So we just go in like that. And then we connect up. We're going to go under the floor and we're going to have our button on the wall right here. So I'm going to make another button. Just tear this out for now. And that should do its thing. And it does. So I'm going to get my cobble back out and fill this in. And this here. Get my gravel out. That's that done. So now I can show you it in action. Hit the button here. Raises the 3 in the middle. And I'll do a demonstration with the cactus in as well. Breaks them all. And it also stops that thing where if you're manually harvesting them, sometimes cactus will fall on other cactus. And it's kind of annoying. I've never been kind of a fan of that, so that's cactus dealt with. And I think that's pretty much it for the farms, honestly. We have a nice semi-automatic cactus farm, we have a nice semi-automatic melon and pumpkin farm, and we have some netherwort growing in the corner as well. So really all that needs doing now is wrapping up the lighting and kind of cleaning up the walls and ceiling. But they're getting full, and I'm really, really happy with the way that this is going. So what do I want to do next? I think I want to do the lighting in there and make some stairs. So yeah, this base is really coming together. The other thing I think I want to start and do is actually make myself some enchanted swords and picks of the diamond variety so that I can start and move forward in other ways, not just getting supplies together. I'm gonna... what the... is that how I guess it is how I had it, huh? Just seemed a little weird to me then for a second. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting the lights in here, and then probably making myself some enchanted tools. And then we'll go from there. So, let's get on with it. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of days since the last clip you saw. And I'm kind of a little bit frustrated at the moment, and I'll tell you why, but before I do that, I'm going to tell you about what I've done. So I did make a few small changes to the farm. The lights here were actually stopping the cactus from growing in the middle. It was just popping off instantly, so I just got rid of those lights. I have also kind of cleaned the walls up in here and finished that off. I've also started the process of tearing out the roof ready so that I can put something nicer in, and I did the same through here. I've also, you know, tore that up. And that's also ready for a new roof. I've kind of reworked some of the lighting in here. I'm not sure what all has been done. I may be missing a few things. So these are probably going to be spots where redstone lamps go, and I'm going to move these inner blocks so that we can eliminate this torch in the middle here. So I've got plenty to do, and I also made 3 picks. I made this pick, which was an efficiency 4 pick, but I added my Unbreaking 3 book to it. And I also have a couple others. I've probably got them in my toolbox here. I do not. But anyway, somewhere else there is 2 new picks that I made, and they are both Silk Touch picks. They're both Unbreaking 3 and Silk Touch 1. And the reason I'm not using them for any work is because it doesn't have efficiency on it, so it's not going to be the most efficient, very aptly termed efficiency. It's not going to be very conducive to getting things done, really. It's basically a diamond pick that has Silk Touch that lasts a really long time, and I really need to be working at a reasonable pace to get things done around my base here. So unfortunately, having enchanted those picks and only got this, which I've already almost halfway chewed up just by doing the roof, some things are beginning to dawn on me. My skeleton grinder is just too darn slow. We already knew that. That wasn't a big surprise. But if I'm going to be making significant volumes of tools and equipment consistently, and with the way the anvil is now, I need to make new tools. I don't just repair tools. And the thought of eventually this pick costing me maybe 25 levels to repair, that's going to take a long time with my skeleton trap to put that amount of levels back. So we're definitely going to need to look into something a little bit better. And also, I did a bit of branch mining. Got myself back up to 2 stacks of diamonds despite what I spent. But that is another thing. Mining is also very slow. I don't know what it is, but diamonds seem less common than they used to be. I have a feeling it's to do with the fact that these new stone types exist, being one of the factors in there. And that other ores are more common now may also be the fact that maybe one of the reasons why it appears that diamonds are rarer. I'm not sure, but basically mining is going very slow. So I looked into alternative methods outside of branch mining, because branch mining, it's very good and it's effective. The only sort of downside to branch mining is it's very time consuming, and I don't really want to be spending tons of time doing that. Yeah, here's my picks. Oh, I had another one too, efficiency 4. So I have these, and then I have that one there. And I've also been enchanting books wherever I can. See, there's an efficiency 4 book right here. I'm just a few levels short. Well, A level. So actually, while we're talking here, I'm going to let some skeletons build up. So yeah, I have kind of looked into some alternative mining methods, and probably the one that I have seen is speed mining. Is an effective setup. Now for that, there's kind of a problem. I need a beacon, and I really don't know where to get one. I know that you need to beat the Wither for the Nether Star to make it, of course, but I don't really have an ideal fortress at the moment to really get a lot of Wither scores, and for that, even if I did have one, I would need some good armor. This is not good enough at all. I would need a proper sword, a proper bow. I would need a lot more sophisticated setup than what I've got now. So that's kind of what I want to work towards, is getting a beacon set up. I have the iron for it, pretty much, to actually make one, with the pyramid and so on and so forth. I think I have close to the amount of iron. I might be a little bit short, but only a stack or 2, at absolute most, I would have thought. So that's kind of what I would like to do. I mean, thinking about it, an hour spent branch mining versus an hour spent speed mining, you're probably going to get a lot more resources through speed mining, and I don't know the exact math behind it, or if there is any math behind it, but that's definitely what I want to work towards. Now, in order to do that, the very next step I need to do is get a better experience farm, so that I can improve the rate at which I can make equipment and so on and so forth. And after digging into Enchanted a bit more, I think the best way of going about things is like I did these picks here. Enchanting the pick and then adding an enchanted book to it if it needs it, or if I want to upgrade it type of thing. So, with all of that in mind, the Blaze Farm is probably going to be one of the next things to do. Now, what I'm going to have to do sort of in the short term is probably enchant some swords, spend some time by this thing here to get myself some swords, and then go out to the swamp biome and hunt slimes to try and get the slime balls I need for it. And then maybe we can look into actually doing that. We have 2 blaze spawners close enough to each other that they could be used to make a dual blaze trap. Now, that would be a significant upgrade over this. And obviously long term I would like to look down the road of making an Enderman farm and things like that, but we have already discussed, you know, the likelihood of that, and there is potential issues with that and so on and so forth. So I would definitely in the short term want to make, and I'm going to stand away from that, I would definitely want to try and move in the direction of making a blaze farm so that I can do quicker mining, you know, and it also helps in the direction of moving towards building a beacon. Okay, they've done their thing now, and I can hopefully get enough levels out of these guys to get me level 30. Yep. And I can enchant that book for efficiency 4. And I might actually add it to one of these Silk Touch picks. I already have this one, but I kind of want to save them. Oh, I have... Wow, that's a lot of Unbreaking books. I didn't realize I had that many. That's interesting. Efficiency 4 just on its own. What's the next option? Ooh, Fortune 2. That's interesting. What about a sword here? Knockback. And a bow. Infinity. I'd be guaranteed of getting infinity on a bow. That might be worthwhile actually getting. I don't know. I think I kind of need the sword more than I need the bow right now. And I already have this here, so if I made a good diamond sword, I'd just put my looting book on it, and I'd be able to get the slime balls I need without ridiculous amounts of effort. I'm going to stash this in here for now because I already have a pick that I'm using, but if it gets low, then I've got options here available to me in order to deal with the situation at the time. So that, all in all, kind of explains my frustrations. For now, I think I'm just going to work on something else, for the rest of today's episode. I kind of want to do some work around my base, more than anything. But yeah, all in all, I've got lots of work to do. That is very, very clear to me. But it should be fun and enjoyable. So what I would like to do now, I think, is actually get to work on redoing the lighting in this room. And actually, speaking of which, I went to the Nether for a glowstone run, and this is all from one vein of glowstone. I found a super huge vein, probably one of the biggest I've ever seen. So we're not going to be struggling for glowstone for a while. We have just over 2 stacks worth of blocks, and those 12 there. So glowstone isn't a problem. Well, amongst all the other problems, glowstone isn't one of them. About to become nighttime. And also, I don't know if this was a suggestion given to me, but somebody suggested to put a minecart track in my staircase to help me get up here a little bit more effectively. I'll probably do it on this side though. So we might look at implementing that too. And I would like to kind of clean this whole front porch area up, kind of unfinished. So that's definitely going to be something I want to look into doing for today. Oh, and we need to finish this off too. There's so much to do, but it's finding time to do it, I find, is the challenge. So, I'm going to get to work on seeing what I can do about the lighting in here, and then maybe we'll look at building the minecart track together. Okay guys, I actually didn't check the time of the recording, but I have now, and we don't really have any more time, unfortunately, to work on anything else today. So we'll have to do the minecart thing next episode. But before I do go, there we go, we fixed that. I also did the lighting in the main room here, got rid of all the torches. I think it looks a lot better now. And also I had to do some work again in the farm here. I didn't realise that actually there was only 3 blocks here instead of 4, so I have expanded the farm out a block. So that obviously took up time, and I really don't want to spend any more time on this episode now before releasing it, because it's been a long time already. I think it's been over a week since we've had MPM, so I want you guys to know that it's not dead, it's still alive. I'm just very busy at the moment working on many different things. Hopefully the schedule will begin to clear up at some point. This week I've been working really hard to try and release videos. I've already got a Feed the Beast and a Legendary out, and this will be my 3rd, so hopefully we're beginning to return to some sort of normality. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one, and hopefully next time we can really push on and get some tools made, and hopefully look towards building a better experience situation. So until then, see you later, and have a good day.